Stop buying collagen powders. I know that sounds extreme, but if you're over 60, most collagen supplements are doing almost nothing. It's not the collagen you're missing. It's the switch that turns it on, and one everyday food flips that switch naturally. There is a quiet misunderstanding that settles in with age, and it sounds deceptively reasonable. Collagen fades, therefore decline is inevitable. Or if decline is uncomfortable, collagen powder will somehow reverse it. This belief is widespread, and it persists not because people are careless, but because the deeper biology is rarely explained. What actually changes after 60 is not desire or effort, it is efficiency. The body no longer runs collagen production on autopilot, and when that reality is ignored, frustration follows. Inside the body, collagen is not a single substance, but a living construction project. It is built strand by strand, folded carefully into strong fibers, and reinforced so it can withstand tension, pressure, and movement. This process depends on specialized enzymes that act like skilled craftsmen. After 60, these enzymes still exist, but they become more selective and less forgiving. They require specific conditions to work properly, and when those conditions are inconsistent, collagen production slows, not because the body has given up, but because it cannot complete the task correctly. One of the most overlooked requirements in this process is vitamin C. Without it, collagen synthesis reaches a standstill at a critical stage. The body may have protein available, it may even have collagen fragments circulating. But without adequate vitamin C, those fragments cannot be stabilized or matured into strong, functional fibers. They remain unfinished. Over time, this creates a subtle but powerful bottleneck, where effort is present but results are not. The body is trying to build, yet the structure never fully sets. An easy way to understand this is to imagine pouring concrete for a foundation. The material is there. The shape is right. But without the proper curing process, the concrete never hardens the way it should. It cracks under pressure. It wears down too quickly. Collagen behaves the same way. Protein provides the raw material, but vitamin C allows the structure to lock into place. Without that final step, strength never fully develops no matter how much material is added. This is why so many people feel confused when they invest time and money into collagen support, yet notice little change. A woman in her early 70s once described feeling as though her body was ignoring everything she gave it. Her joints remained stiff, her skin fragile, her recovery slow. Nothing seemed to work. What became clear, however, was that the foundation was incomplete. The body wasn't resisting support. It simply lacked a critical cofactor to finish the work it had already started. As collagen production slows, the consequences ripple outward. Joints lose their smooth glide. Tendons become less elastic. Skin becomes thinner and more vulnerable. Even blood vessels lose some of their youthful flexibility. These changes are often treated as separate issues, but they are connected by the same structural weakness. When collagen renewal is inconsistent, the entire system feels it. Movement becomes cautious, healing becomes hesitant, confidence quietly diminishes. What matters most here is not intensity, novelty, or volume. It is reliability. Collagen production after 60 responds best to steady, predictable support. A consistent source of vitamin C allows the enzymatic process to complete itself. Pairing that support with dietary protein provides the amino acids needed to form new fibers. When these elements align, collagen synthesis becomes possible again. Not dramatically, not overnight, but steadily and meaningfully. The body begins doing what it was always capable of doing once the missing piece is restored. What often distracts people at this stage of life is complexity. The belief that if something truly works, it must be rare, exotic, or technologically advanced. Over time, this idea becomes ingrained, reinforced by advertising and modern wellness culture. Yet the body does not evolve to respond to novelty. It responds to familiarity, consistency, and signals it recognizes as safe. In the context of collagen renewal after 60, simplicity is not a weakness. It is an advantage. Kiwi fruit occupies a unique position in human nutrition because it delivers something aging biology struggles to obtain reliably: a meaningful food-based dose of vitamin C in a form the body easily absorbs and uses. One ordinary serving provides roughly 70 milligrams of vitamin C, a quantity large enough to support collagen-related enzymes without overwhelming the system. This matters because collagen production does not respond to spikes. It responds to steady availability. When vitamin C arrives regularly, the enzymatic machinery involved in collagen synthesis remains active instead of slipping into dormancy. Human research has examined kiwi fruit specifically as a vitamin C-rich food, and the findings are quietly impressive. When consumed consistently, kiwi fruit raises vitamin C levels not only in the bloodstream, but within the skin itself. This internal availability is what supports collagen maintenance over time. The body does not interpret this as supplementation. It interprets it as nourishment. That distinction changes how the signal is processed, particularly in older tissues that have become more selective about what they accept and use. The effect can be compared to restoring electricity to a system that was never damaged, only underpowered. Collagen production doesn't need to be forced. It needs energy and the right molecular signals. Kiwi fruit supplies both in a balanced way. Once the signal is restored, the system resumes its function gradually. Fibers are laid down more effectively. Existing collagen degrades more slowly. Structural integrity improves without dramatic swings or artificial stimulation. Over time, subtle changes become noticeable. Skin begins to feel more resilient rather than delicate. Joints move with slightly less hesitation. Recovery feels less demanding. These changes rarely announce themselves all at once, which is why they are often dismissed. But the body favors quiet progress. A man in his late 60s once described the difference as feeling less brittle. Nothing miraculous, nothing sudden, just a steady return of reliability, as though the tissues themselves were no longer racing against time. What makes this approach especially relevant after 60 is its compatibility with daily life. Kiwi fruit does not compete with medications. It does not overwhelm digestion. It does not demand strict timing or rigid routines. When consumed alongside protein, the vitamin C supports the stabilization of newly formed collagen fibers, allowing amino acids to be used more effectively. Over weeks and months, this pairing supports a cycle of repair rather than depletion. The larger lesson here is not about kiwi fruit alone. It is about how aging biology responds to food-based signals. When nourishment arrives in a recognizable form, the body listens. When that signal is repeated consistently, the body adapts. Collagen production does not need to be chased. It needs to be reminded, and sometimes the most powerful reminders come from the simplest foods. If understanding how one simple food can help your body rebuild what time has worn down matters to you, subscribing keeps these insights coming. This channel is about supporting strength, structure, and aging well. One clear truth at a time. There is a quiet disconnect that happens when expectations collide with biology. Collagen supplements promise rebuilding, strength, and resilience, yet many people notice little change after months of use. This disconnect is not imagined, and it is not a personal failure. It comes from a misunderstanding of how the body actually handles collagen once it enters the system. Collagen, when consumed, does not travel intact to the skin or joints. It is broken down into amino acids and small peptides, just like any other protein. What happens next determines whether those fragments become functional tissue or simply pass through. Inside the body, collagen assembly is a precise and demanding process. After digestion, amino acids must be reorganized, aligned, and chemically stabilized to form strong collagen fibers. This stabilization step is where many efforts quietly fall apart. Without sufficient vitamin C present at the moment of synthesis, the body cannot properly cross-link collagen strands. They remain weak, loosely structured, and vulnerable to rapid breakdown. No matter how much collagen protein is consumed, unfinished fibers do not provide structural strength. The situation can be compared to delivering truckloads of building materials to a construction site where the crew lacks proper tools. The materials pile up, but progress stalls. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. Inside the body, the same thing occurs. Amino acids are available, but the biochemical tools needed to assemble them into durable collagen are incomplete. The result is disappointment, confusion, and the belief that collagen simply doesn't work after a certain age. This is why experiences vary so dramatically from person to person. One individual may report noticeable improvements, while another feels no difference at all using the same product. The difference often lies not in the supplement itself, but in the surrounding biological environment. When vitamin C intake is inconsistent or insufficient, collagen synthesis remains inefficient. When that support is restored, the same collagen intake can suddenly begin to show results that were previously absent. A woman in her mid-70s once described feeling skeptical after years of trying various powders with little to show for it. What changed was not the product, but the context in which her body received it. Once the missing nutritional support was present, her tissues responded differently. Skin felt less fragile. Joint discomfort eased slightly. Recovery no longer felt stalled. The supplement had not changed. The biology around it had. Another factor quietly influencing collagen success is oxidative stress. As the body ages, exposure to oxidative damage increases, and collagen fibers become more vulnerable to breakdown. Diets rich in plant-based foods help buffer this stress, preserving existing collagen while new fibers are formed. Without this protection, the body remains stuck in a cycle of repair followed by rapid degradation. Supportive nutrition shifts that balance toward maintenance instead of loss. What emerges from this understanding is not disappointment, but clarity. Collagen supplements are not inherently ineffective, nor are they universally effective. They function within a system. When that system lacks critical support, results remain limited. When the environment becomes favorable, the same inputs begin to work as intended. The body has not forgotten how to build collagen. It simply requires the conditions that allow the process to finish. There is a moment that comes later in life when people realize they have been aiming at the wrong target. For years, collagen has been framed as something to chase, something to add, something to fix from the outside in. That framing creates urgency, impatience, and disappointment. But collagen health after 60 does not respond to pressure. It responds to permission. When the body is given the right signals in a form it recognizes, it resumes maintenance quietly and efficiently, without spectacle. One of the most overlooked ideas in modern nutrition is that food is not simply calories or vitamins. It is instruction. Every day the body receives messages that tell it whether to store, inflame, conserve, or repair. In younger years, the repair message is loud and frequent. With age, it becomes quieter, not because the body forgets how to repair, but because the signals become inconsistent. When that inconsistency persists, tissues adapt by lowering expectations. Collagen production slows not out of failure, but out of caution. What restores that communication is not intensity. It is reliability. Structural proteins like collagen are not rebuilt in bursts. They are maintained through repetition. When vitamin C arrives regularly from whole foods, the enzymes responsible for collagen stabilization remain active. When protein accompanies that signal, the raw materials are used instead of wasted. Over time, this consistency changes the internal environment. The body shifts from a state of preservation to one of gentle renewal. This process unfolds slowly, and that slowness is often misunderstood. People look for visible proof and miss the early signs of success. Joints feel slightly more cooperative. Skin becomes less reactive. Recovery feels less draining. These are not coincidences. They are indicators that the scaffolding beneath the surface is being reinforced. Structural integrity improves before aesthetics ever do, because function always comes first in human biology. There is also an emotional dimension to this shift that deserves attention. When the body feels more dependable, the mind follows. Movement becomes less hesitant. Daily activities feel less negotiable. Confidence returns not as bravado, but as trust. This is one of the quiet gifts of supporting collagen properly after 60. It restores a sense of physical reliability that many people assume is lost forever. The most important realization is this: aging does not remove the capacity for repair. It changes the rules under which repair occurs. After a certain age, the body requires clearer signals and steadier support. When those conditions are met, collagen production does not need to be forced or stimulated aggressively. It resumes at a pace that is sustainable and protective. One simple food used consistently can remind the body how to maintain its structure, not through promises or shortcuts, but through biological cooperation. When repair is supported instead of chased, the body responds with resilience. That resilience may not make headlines, but it changes daily life in ways that matter deeply. If understanding how food quietly supports collagen and keeps your body reliable after 60 matters to you, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.